Hey, I thought I'd do a quick overview for ScourgeBringer. You may remember that I played this last week. That was actually an earlier build. They actually just went into official release and early access release just yesterday. So I just finished the game a couple hours ago. They added like the third world and things. Basically this is like a pure like attacking only action roguelike. For better or for worse, there are some problems with it unfortunately, but it does flow pretty well. So the character actually controls pretty responsibly. We have a double jump, we have this which doubles as like a movement option and an attack. However, it is not invincible. That is not something that I particularly like, because sometimes it feels like you take damage and it's not entirely your fault, but you can speed through the game pretty quickly once you get to the appropriate skill level. So there's also a skill tree. This is what serves as the persistent elements, since this is a roguelike. A lot of them aren't too interesting. Some of the most interesting ones is this one, which gives you a little shockwave down to the ground. Fast travel, which a lot of people agree should just be unlocked innately. This allows you to throw bullets back, but you're not invincible during it, so you really have to know the right time to deflect. It doesn't feel as good as it should. Like normally when you land a clutch move like that in an action game, you're usually given some kind of invincibility or a buff or something. Here, you basically just get some extra damage if the bullets actually manage to hit the original target or the original place that they came from. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll actually hit another enemy. You can also direct the bullets in opposite directions as well. But for the most part, if anything is like a large spray of bullets or a large volley of bullets, you actually don't want to deflect, because while you will deflect some of the bullets back, you'll get hit during the recovery, which I think is kind of weird, honestly. I think their whole adamancy towards being just a defensive or offensive-only roguelike doesn't really work in some ways. Sometimes it feels like you want to have some kind of defensive option or get rewarded more easily or more clearly for actually deflecting a bullet or something like that would actually make the game feel better. But they are open to feedback. One of the things they've mentioned is having some kind of like mutators in the game later on, meaning, I don't know, things like making the game harder or easier. They haven't really gone into detail about it yet. I'm sure one of them will probably be giving you invincibility during dashes, because I know a lot of people like that. So, let's get into the game. It's definitely one of those games that's one of those, like, classic design type games where it's easy to learn but hard to master. You definitely have to learn the attacks and be paying attention at all times. If you button mash, you will die. One of the things that makes things difficult is there's not that many health drops. You don't get full heals. You don't get like a copious amount of heals like you would in most other roguelikes. So you definitely do have to pay attention. Show some of the movement here. Now when the enemy has that exclamation mark, contrary to other action games where you just avoid them, you actually get to run into them with that movement. They use the smash attack to try and an Xbox controller. That will stun them and allow you to get a combo for a while. So here are the items. This sponsor, you get a choice of 3 items. Like this one would give me just more stun time and more damage when they're stunned. The items are something that you're getting a lot of complaints about. We already have acknowledged the items are not very interesting. You kind of fall into the category of complex too, because the character is quite capable at the start, and you don't really need a lot of items to really survive in the game and get by with them. Usually, a lot of roguelikes I play where the character is quite capable. That's very much the thing here. The items are mostly just based on and stuff. You change it back away. The game's kind of a unique case. They've had it for many months. I never actually got an alpha key. I just kind of randomly sent a request on Keymailer and they sent it to me the next day. So they've gotten a numerous amount of feedback, but I think this is made by a rather small team, so it takes time for them to make major changes. Anyway, here's the shop. So you generally will have some kind of healing item, like this gives you more HP. This increases your, or fully maxes your Fury, which is basically like a full screen smart bomb type attack that does damage. And then you'll always have a slot here for a weapon. Generally the shotguns tend to be the best, and you can also shoot while attacking, so on bosses and mini bosses, the larger elite enemies, it's actually really valuable. A lot of extra damage, especially while they're stunned. So the way fast travel works is you hold the select button, and then when you let go on the corresponding square you want to go to, you'll travel there, like this. Sometimes you can get really horrendous RNG with boss bosses. In order to actually get the boss door, you need to beat the mini-boss. So, like 2 layers of RNG, like where the boss is and where the mini-boss is. Like, see right here is the boss door, but since I haven't fought the mini-boss, I can't actually fight it. Design is quite good. I'd say the first enemies are definitely the ones in the third world, which is limited. They are quite annoying, and sometimes it feels like you can't lose them. They've had numerous people talk about that. Like I said, this game's kind of a unique case because they already have been taking feedback from people who play the game. They need to keep the average player in mind. They can't always really just aim at people like that who put tons of time into it. We definitely have increased the health drops. You may notice that there were barely any health drops at all, which made the game feel unfairly punishing because you often get into situations where you take a few hits just by being careless or just making mistakes and not be able to recover at all. Now it seems like you get drops pretty consistently. Really used to. You get it far more often than you did on the original game or the alpha. So generally what you want to do is you want to always get the shotgun. The shotgun is like invaluable, especially since you can attack and shoot at the same time. Characters ambidextrous, I guess, and they can just attack and shoot. So generally when you stun an enemy, you want to do stuff like this and just maximize as much damage as you can, especially when they're stunned. Here's the shotgun. Sometimes it can actually be beneficial to not take the item altar right when you find it, because there is one item. One of the arguably most useful ones is the one that just gives you max of everything, like it fully heals you and everything like that. So since there's always a chance you can get that, you may not always want to take this right away. Like I said, the items right now are probably the weakest part of the game. None of them really change how you play, and like I said, that's a very hard thing to balance when the game is designed, you know, to be mostly skill-based, meaning you can just clear it with nothing if you're good enough and you put enough time and effort into the game. But it's definitely something that does need to be improved, and they have mentioned that they want to improve it. So if you're looking for something like Wizard of Legend, I think Wizard of Legend has a pretty good balance between being skill-based, and you can clear that game with complete junk from the first time you play it, and also having cool builds. then this is not the game for you, at least not in its current state. If you want something that's more skill-based, but also has the benefits of a roguelike, meaning, random things, random level generation and things to keep you playing, then I think the game is pretty decent right now. But overall, I'd say a full run will probably take you about anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how lucky you get. The level generation in this does leave a lot to be desired. One of the things that they want to do is make it so that a full clear actually gives you some kind of incentive. They haven't said exactly what, but right now, when you full clear in this game, you just feel like you're wasting your time because health drops are so scarce, and there's not really a whole lot to really incentivize you to clear it right now. It's mostly kind of feels like a punishment because if you can just get to the boss, the item room, the mini boss, and the store, then you've pretty much done everything there is on that respective level. Hopefully, these things will be changed so they actually have a pretty nice. I wouldn't call it a roadmap, but things that they plan on changing on the main forum. So you can go ahead and check that out. If there's things in the game that don't really click with you and you want them to change, chances are they probably already mentioned it on there. However, they don't give a time frame for it. Right now, there's supposed to be 6 worlds, but there are only 3 playable right now. So you've got about half the game, half the skill tree, and then a lot of the quality of life and polish and elements to make the game have more replay value are sorely missing right now. So I think for 15 bucks, it's worth it if you like the idea of the game and you don't mind it being updated periodically and just kind of helping them get feedback because they are very receptive to feedback. I definitely have played some early access games. I won't mention the names, but many, early access games where they don't even listen to the advice, or if it's a foreign game, they don't have somebody there speaking English to actually, you know, tally the feedback of people who don't speak their native language. I've had many negative responses with early access, but these guys definitely are the real deal. They want to deliver a really quality game. It can be rough around the edges, not a whole lot of content right now, but I think the core gameplay mechanics are actually quite good. If they could make it more satisfying to actually deflect attacks, maybe have a little bit more combat variety, and definitely like allow the game to have standard roguelike type builds, I think it will actually go a long way. They have not announced anything about console ports, but given how everything ends up on the Switch, especially roguelikes, especially pixel art based ones, then it's probably safe to assume that once they get it out of early access, it will be on modern platforms. Anyway, that's it. I'll probably do a commentated full run in the near future. Thanks for watching.